Today we will discuss the application of Wheatstone bridge. That means what practical devices we use for the application of this Wheatstone bridge. There are basically two types of instruments we use practically to find the unknown resistance using the principle of Wheatstone bridge, that is meter bridge and post office box. But basically meter bridge is used more than post office box because post office box is not used nowadays. Previously it is used to measure the resistance of the wire between two telegraphic posts, but nowadays it is not used. But still meter bridge we use to find the unknown resistance, basically in laboratory. Now what is this meter bridge? This meter bridge is actually a 1 meter long wire that is mounted over a wooden scale or wooden, what I can say, wooden type of batten. A scale is there. The 0 centimeter and 100 centimeter marks are present because 1 meter means 100 centimeter. Marks are present at two ends of the wire. Left end generally 0, right end 100. But maybe opposite also. 0 may be right, 100 may be left. That is not the factor that which side is 0, which side is 100. But if you are taking reading, generally you use left side 0, right side 100. Now the question is how we measure the unknown resistance using this 1 meter long wire. At first we had to construct the circuit diagram as per the Wheatstone bridge. So Wheatstone bridge, that bridge like structure, that is a rhombus structure which is bridge like, upper part and lower part, you have to remember first. Look at the board. We have drawn the Wheatstone bridge diagram right side and the meter bridge left side. Now see this A and C left side diagram. A and C are the 2 points where a 1 meter long wire is mounted. 1 meter long wire is mounted. And this total wire measures the total resistance of P and Q. How? Because whenever we find the null point means the balancing condition of the bridge when no current flows to the galvanometer and the potential at point B and at point D are same. So at this null point condition, the point B actually practically is a jockey. Now what is jockey? Jockey is a metal rod, a type of metal rod having a sharp end. Whenever we touch that sharp end to the wire of the meter bridge to find the null point, that point is B. That point is B. So between A and B, what is the resistance? We know from Wheatstone bridge diagram it is P. So here AB length, if L, suppose L centimeter, that means that L centimeter length of the wire indicates it is P resistance. This wire having L length wire having resistance P. And the remaining part is 100 minus L, simply because 100 minus 100 centimeter total minus L, 100 minus L. That represents the resistance Q. So total is P plus Q. If anyone asks you that what is the total resistance of the meter bridge, it is simply P plus Q. Now the unknown resistance and the known resistance. Come to the lower part of the Wheatstone bridge. There is R and S. R is known, S is unknown. So this known resistance is actually practically when we connect is a resistance box. Different known resistance are there. Whenever we plug out any one, that known resistance will be active at that point. You may add also, suppose two known resistance 2 ohms and 1 ohms. When you plug out, it will be 3. Suppose 3, 2, 2, 1, it will be 5 like this. So that is the known resistance, and one unknown resistance which is also a coil resistor, that is wounded over a wooden bobbin like structure. Now this is unknown resistance S. Now we have to connect the DC source, that is the cell having EMF E, and the key in series as the standard diagram of the Wheatstone bridge. So positive terminal of the cell is connected to point A, that is 0 centimeter in general, and negative terminal in a key in series to point C, that is 100 centimeter. Okay. So the source is connected between A and C. One more connection left, there is a galvanometer. Galvanometer is connected between B already told, the jockey point is B, and D. Which point is D? The joining point of R and S. So what is the joining point of R and S? Look at the diagram of meter bridge diagram. So that is D. So between D and B we connect the galvanometer. Now whenever you connect the galvanometer, see in the diagram I have drawn a type of jumping, overlapping, the red color and the blue color. If it is straight, that means there is a connection. So to avoid that, because that has no connection, that type of jumping U shape is drawn. It is a convention of drawing the electrical circuit diagram. Now the condition of null point, you know that condition of null point at Ig equal to 0 when no current flows to the galvanometer is P by Q equal to R by S. So already I told that resistance is replaced by length. How? Because we know the resistance is actually proportional to length. So if resistance is proportional to length, then when provided that resistivity and area will not change, same way and area will not change. So here the ratio of L and 100 minus L is the ratio of P and Q. So P by Q equal to L by 100 minus L, and that is equal to R by S from the condition of null point. So if we make subject of S, we get S equal to 100 minus L by L into R. Okay. Now 3 more things I want to tell. Number 1, actually there is a rule of taking multiple readings and mean reading. Why? To avoid error. Because you know, whenever we measuring anything, not resistance, not length, not time, any physical quantity, if we repeat the reading multiple times, then probability of error will decrease. So here also, to take multiple reading, we reverse the position of R and S. We reverse the position of R and S. It is a strategy. So if I reverse the position of R and S, then the formula will change, that is S will be replaced by R, R will be replaced by S. But at that time if we make S as subject of the equation, then it will be L by 100 minus L into R. That is, the ratio will just change. So by changing this ratio, we take 2 times the value of S and then take the mean of that. It will reduce the error of measuring the unknown resistance. Okay. So this is one thing. Second thing is that due to heating effect, the resistance of the wire can change, because we know whenever current flows there is a joule heating in every conductor. So due to this joule heating, the resistance can change. Also resistance can change due to the temperature of the surroundings. Yes, suppose we are doing the experiment during summer and we are doing the same experiment during winter season. So there is a problem because summer season resistance will be more, winter season resistance will be less. Then there is no standard. Sometimes we get the same resistance value more, sometimes we get the same resistance value less. So there is a problematic case. So to avoid that, we use the material of the wire of the 1 meter long wire of the meter bridge, such a substance or such a material that due to change in temperature, resistance will not change so much, very small, negligibly small change. That means temperature coefficient of resistance is nearly zero. That odd temperature resistance is nearly same. So what type of material do we use? Here we use a special type of alloy, and the name of the alloy is either constantan or manganene. So these two type of alloy, either constantan or manganene, not both, are used. Clear? The third important point is when the bridge is maximum sensitive. Now what does sensitivity means? Sensitivity means that we get perfect reading, prompt reading, actual reading. Then the bridge is most sensitive. Okay, the instrument is most sensitive, meter bridge. The bridge is most sensitive at the midpoint, that is at 50 centimeter. That means L is 50, 100 minus L is also 50. So if L and 100 minus L are same, that is P equal to Q, very easy to understand. So if P equal to Q, then R equal to S. Then we have to know that ratio. Calculation is not at all required. The value of R is equal to value of S. So at that time, the bridge is maximum sensitive. 50-50 balancing point. Okay. That means 50% current passes through upper part, 50% current passes through the lower part, like that. Now the question is, if that is so, then what is the range of sensitivity? 50% maximum sensitivity, agreed. But what is the range of sensitivity? The answer is, the sensitivity range is 30 to 70 centimeter. So whenever we are getting reading between 30 to 70, it's okay. But below 30, if we get any reading, we will not take that, because that is erratic reading. Error is there, much error is there. Also, we will not take reading more than 70, because there is error. Because below 30 and above 70, the sensitivity of the bridge decreases. So we avoid to take that type of reading. So this is all that I told, everything about the meter bridge. Okay. Now the second part of the class, we discuss about the potentiometer. Now potentiometer is also an instrument where the main principle is the potential drop or difference, whatever it may be, is directly proportional to the length of the wire. That means in potentiometer also there is a long wire used, and the length of this wire is 10 meter. That is 10. 1 meter long wire is used. They are not separate wire. A single 10 meter wire is arranged over a wooden block in a zigzag way. Suppose first 0 to 100 centimeter, then 100 to 200, 200 to 300, left to right, right to left, left to right, like this. So these 10 wires are present, are mounted over wooden block, in a zigzag fashion, zigzag way. Now this total resistance, there is a total resistance of this 10 meter wire. Now whenever we move the variable point, that is known as jockey, because two terminals of this 10 meter long wire is fixed, but the variable point is the jockey. We move the variable point over the length of the wire. Whenever it is tapped, that is connected to any point, connected means tapped, temporarily connection, connected to any point of the wire, we get a voltage drop or difference in terms of length. So very easy, as length increases, the voltage drop also increases. Actually the principle we compare this with a rheostat. Rheostat means what? A variable resistance. The resistance that can vary. So at first we have drawn a diagram of rheostat. See, there are two fixed points A and B, and third point is the jockey C, which is a variable point. A and B, the two terminals, are connected with the DC source, plus 2A minus 2B, and the variable point is the jockey. Now suppose at any time AC length is L1 and CB length is L2. So what is L1 plus L2? If I compare it with the potentiometer, it is 10 meter total. Now A to C, this when jockey is at C, it may be midpoint, it may not be midpoint, it may be above towards A, it may be towards B. Sometime L1 more than L2, sometime L2 more than L1, sometime L1 equal to L2. So anywhere. So suppose the AC resistance is R1 and CB is R2. So they are connected in series. Again, series circuit is potential divider, where current remains same through both the resistors. So let the voltage drop across R1 is V1 and voltage drop across R2 is V2. So how I write V1 and V2 in terms of V, R1 and R2? That is V1 equal to V R1 by R1 plus R2. It is potential divider formula from series circuit only using Ohm's law. But R1, R is proportional to L, and resistance ratio is equal to length ratio, already discussed in meter bridge. So R1 by R1 plus R2 means actually L1 by L1 plus L2. Similarly, R2 by R1 plus R2 means L2 by L1 plus L2. Now if we take the ratio of V1 and V2, we are getting simply L1 by L2, that is V proportional to L proved. For potentiometer, V proportional to L proved. So it is the principle of potentiometer proved. Now it is applied to find unknown EMF and internal resistance of cell. But how? First application, that is drawn on the board, second part. See how it is found. Suppose an unknown EMF having EMF E, an unknown EMF having EMF E, that is shown the left part of the lower portion of the board. Now suppose the jockey is at a particular position and suddenly we get that there is no deflection through the galvanometer. Galvanometer is connected where? Galvanometer is connected between the point A and the positive terminal of the cell or EMF, unknown EMF. So suddenly we get that there is no deflection in the galvanometer. So what I conclude? I conclude that the potential drop between A and C, which is actually V1, is equal to E, because if galvanometer both end potential is same, then no current will flow. Not only galvanometer, any conductor potential same, current will not flow. So in this case, galvanometer current is 0 and V1 equal to E. That means, think, the V1 is also proportional to L, so V1 can be replaced by L. That means by measuring length only we can find the EMF. We can find the EMF. So it is mere comparison. Now what is the actual diagram? It is actually the equivalent diagram, but actual diagram, see, which I have drawn with blue color. There are 10 wires, first, second, counting from down, first, second, third, fourth, top, 10th. So A and B are the two terminals. A and B are the two terminals. See here also. A terminal is connected to positive, here also positive, that is DC source. Now only difference is here we connected rheostat, another extra rheostat. Why? To control the current, so that high current will not flow through the potentiometer, the 10 wires. So we connected rheostat, and to measure the amount of current we also connect a ammeter in series, because ammeter is connected in series, and with a key. Ammeter positive, remember ammeter positive is above, negative down, because how it is very easy. The negative terminal will go to the negative terminal of the ammeter and the positive terminal to the point B. Now from A, point A, the down point, the lower point, point A, we connect two cell E1 and E2. Now one cell EMF is known and another cell EMF is unknown. Suppose E1 is known, E2 is unknown. Okay. Now the negative terminal should be connected to the galvanometer, but here is a two-way key. Two-way key means what? When there is a common point and other 2 points are 1 and 2. When that com means common. When the common point is connected to 1, then E1 is in the circuit, and when it is connected to 2.2, then E2 is in the circuit. Very easy to understand, and that type of key is known as two-way key. Or using commutator we can also do. Commutator is an instrument in lab. We can perform two-way key operation using commutator. Now suppose initially means at first E1 is connected to the circuit by connecting that common point to 1. Then we get the null point when the jockey is at position J1, and that null point is L1. See, I have written for E1 null point L1. Then we connect the common point to 2 when E2 is in the circuit. Then the jockey is at position J2, and null point is at L2. So principle is what? V proportional to L. So very easy. E1 by E2 equal to L1 by L2. So if E2 is unknown, make subject of E2. So E2 equal to E1 into L2 by L1. Simple formula. So by these we can find the unknown EMF. Clear? Okay. Now the last part of the class, that is how to measure internal resistance of cell using potentiometer. See, the connection almost same, because the left side between A and B, the connection is exactly as the previous one, that is the unknown EMF. The same DC source, the same rheostat, the same ammeter, the key K1, all exactly same. Only difference is the down part, lower part. Here instead of 2 EMF we have used only 1 EMF, because we have to find the internal resistance of that EMF, not EMF, internal resistance. So that EMF is E. Now between two terminals of E at the external circuit we have connected a resistance, that is actually external resistance or load resistance or simple load, with a key K2. That means when this K2 or key 2 actually, key 2 is open, then we get only EMF, no problem, because load is not there, only EMF. But when we close key 2, the load is there, that is between V1 and V2, that is V1 minus V2 is Vt, but when Key2 is open, V1 minus V2 is Z only, because load is not present. Also the galvanometer is there, that means we first open the key 2 and take the null point. Suppose that is J1, that is the position of the jockey is J1 and the length is L1. So that null point for EMF only. Then we close the key K2. And remember one thing, key 1 should be always closed, because that is the main source of the potentiometer, that we never open. Remember that. So what I am telling, key 2 is when closed, that is external load is present, and this time we will not get EMF, we will get terminal potential or potential difference denoted as Vt. Now the null point is, jockey position is at J2. So null point length is L1. So naturally which one is more? Obviously EMF is more than terminal potential. So L1 is more than L2. Jockey position is J1, will be at the higher length than J2. Now what is the formula of internal resistance that you have done in the current electricity chapter? The formula is small r internal resistance equal to big R external resistance or load resistance within bracket E by Vt minus 1. But again for potentiometer V proportional to L. So E by Vt equal to L1 by L2, as in the previous one we have just seen that E1 by E2 equal to L1 by L2. So here E by Vt equal to L1 by L2. So small r equal to big R bracket L1 by L2 minus 1. So using this formula we can find the value of R. So what we need to find? Only L1 and L2, two length, because R is known, external resistance will be given, so we can find easily the internal resistance of cell. Clear? Okay.